going to be an interesting slate. And interesting is another word for saying there could be some upsets on the horizon. Wouldn't that be just like college football? I think it would. So where are those upsets happening? We're not making a prediction necessarily, though we do have some shots we're calling across this slate. College football sickos, we appreciate y'all being subscribed to the On3 YouTube channel. If you have not yet gotten dialed in and gotten subscribed, now is the time. All right, make sure you're locked in. We appreciate you in advance. Let's take a look at Auburn at Missouri. Auburn's a 4.5-point dog, and so from a spread perspective, it wouldn't be like the most outrageous thing if a 4.5-point dog won the football game, right? That's not novel analysis. But from an optics perspective, look at where these two teams are at. Auburn has massively underachieved based on what we thought they would do going into this season. Missouri, don't look now, before they went to College Station, they were a top 10 football team. And then they went out and got bodied by A&M. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think Auburn's a lot closer to success than most people would think. I think it is more so tinkering with that offense as opposed to having to rebuild it all. Do you have what you need at quarterback? Probably not. Do you have what you need to be successful maybe in this game? Potentially. Like Deuce Knight's going to get there, and that'll be tremendous vibes on the plains, but Peyton Thorman, if he could just stop giving the football away, they might be in good shape. Because Auburn now is averaging right around 6.2 yards a play. It's top 30 in America. More importantly, in this football game, Auburn is averaging 5 yards a carry going in. Missouri, I'm just saying now, Missouri did not do a tremendous job stopping the run against Texas A&M. I think that comes back to bite them in this game. I think that Auburn, off a bye week, Missouri off a bye week as well, I think Auburn rolls into Columbia, Missouri. I think they get a win. So I told you, in this segment, we don't do predictions necessarily. We're predicting one right now. We predicted one last week, Vandy over Kentucky. That hit. I think this is going to hit as well. And again, I think Auburn wins that football game on the road in the Tigers versus Tigers. I think Auburn gets it done. Let's take a look at Notre Dame and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is an 11.5-point favorite. This is essentially a home game for Georgia Tech. All right, I believe it's being played in Mercedes-Benz. My question every single week with Notre Dame is like, I don't know if I trust y'all yet. I love Marcus Freeman. I like Riley Leonard and what he brings to the table. I love Mike Denbrock. I just don't know which Irish we're getting, baby. Is it the Irish that we saw that first week that stonewalled Texas A&M? Or is it the Irish that we saw roll out of bed at home and lose to NIU? We're going to find out. I think in this spot now, Georgia Tech does to a serviceable level what it would take to beat Notre Dame, which is stopping the run. Not a bad run defense. I mean, not elite, but good enough right around the middle part of the 133, if you will, to be successful in this game. Because if you make Riley Leonard throw the football, things get interesting. Also worth noting, your heart breaks for everyone in South Bend because Benjamin Morrison is done for the year, and you hate that. However, there will be some opportunity, I think, for Georgia Tech to potentially throw the ball deep, which is something to keep an eye on anytime you got Haynes King back there slinging it around. Let's take a look out here at Nebraska at Indiana. I think Nebraska wins this football game. I gave you my prediction on Tuesday. I'll say it again right now. I think Nebraska wins the football game. I think they're the more talented team. I think they're the more physical team. I think they are further along than Indiana. That's saying something, I suppose, with Curt Cignetti taking a lot of his guys from JMU with him to Indiana. I like Indiana. I love the story. I love the juice. Curt Cignetti seems like a program guy through and through. I love the way that he operates and the way that he talks his cash. However, I think Nebraska rolls into town behind a stingy Husker defense. I think they get it done. I really do. Again, touchdown dog on the road, big noon, big spot. I think Nebraska wins that football game. Now, here's one I hesitated to even put on this list. Here's one I wasn't even sure I wanted to talk about, but we just have to acknowledge it because of the spot. Oregon, massive win over Ohio State. I mean, it was huge. They're rolling into a game Friday night on the road against Purdue. 28.5-point favorite is Oregon. Now, Oregon should win, and they should win with ease. But again, with college football, we just have to acknowledge this is a possibility for this to happen. Say, JD, you're being crazy. I understand it's a crazy thing to say. I'm not telling you Oregon loses. I'm telling you Oregon should win. But I am saying the spot in itself deserves a little bit of attention. Because remember now, Alabama, they beat Georgia. Vibes are incredible. I'm sure it's a ton of relief. And then they roll into Nashville, Tennessee, and lose to the Fighting Diego Pavias in Vanderbilt. I'm not telling you Purdue is Vanderbilt. I'm just saying the spots are so treacherous, especially with the new era of the portal and potential parity and lack of depth, all those things. I'm not saying that's Oregon, but I am saying just keep an eye on the spot. All I'm saying. I would still pick Oregon to win, still would pick Oregon to cover. but keep an eye on that spot because it's treacherous. So upsets abound, as they always do every college football Saturday. We're going to enjoy the heck out of them. Those are the ones we're keeping an eye on. And those are the two, Auburn over Missouri, Nebraska over Indiana, that we're calling outright. Hey, for my folks out there in Clemson, South Carolina, we keep mentioning this Waterburger touchdown tour. We were there this past Sunday in Nashville for the Titans game. They're going to be at the Clemson-Virginia game this weekend, along with some other Clemson athletes. So go check that out, man. It's a good time. Myself and Nick Brake were there, like I said, for the Titans-Colts game. And, y'all, that patty melt, I'm just saying, roll up to the truck, meet the athletes, get you a patty melt, and lock in, okay? So that's this Saturday. You got Clemson, Virginia, lock in. It'll be a good time. Waterburger, always ready to feed the team, made to order, 100%, fresh food, served hot, 24/7. The easiest win you'll get all season.